Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to We, the Thunder. And so it begins. The quest for cup number 4. And Jesse's in mid-season form already. And this show is probably not going to be for this episode, but we have the stash.
I'm here.
Hold on, we got to get your sound effect there.
I'm back.
Oh, wait. I guess that could be it for today.
I'm back.
You sound better than you, Mario.
Oh, come on, man. Jeez, we're gonna start there, huh? That's how we're gonna start the season.
No, actually, that's Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Thomas Schooley. He's back too. And we got a brand new season starting tomorrow.
I thought he was about to say co-host. I was like, wait a minute. I was checking messages. I was like, who?
One of these two will be replaced by the end of this episode.
We've had some technical difficulties in the last 5 minutes.
It's like we're coming off an off season where we've only done one episode a month for the last 3 months. I don't know.
But don't worry, because from here on out, every Monday night, we will be live at 8 or 9 o'clock. Schooley's going to have snacks. The stash is going to have good or bad takes. Your opinion there.
I'll be doing my best Blake Shelton all season long with my bourbon right here, my Monkey Colt tumbler.
Yes, and more to come on that as well. So we've got a show tonight. We got a show tonight to kick off the season. We have our predictions. So don't worry. I record all the information we're going to cover tonight. And if you remember last season, we go back and we see how we did at our predictions at the end of the season. So we're going to do our predictions. We're going to talk a little bit about the schedule. And we're going to talk a little bit about everyone's favorite topic in the last 24 hours, Ian Cole, the shortest stint as a defenseman possibly ever for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then we've got some new sponsors. So you see in the corner right by the stash there, SeatGeek. If you never tried SeatGeek, you can use our code now, WTT. That stands for We the Thunder Pod, WTT Pod. Your first time in using SeatGeek, that'll get you $20 off. Don't try to use it your second time because it ain't gonna work. Just your first time, but hey, go do that. Let us know you did it. Those fine folks at SeatGeek are gonna love that. And then, hey, we've also got another sponsor here. We'll get the commercials out of the way before we jump into things. Stash. Now, you were supposed to go take some shots by the beach today in your Monkey Colt apparel. What happened?
Well, A, I'm not great at selfies to begin with. And then B, I want to give the people something that they want. So I'm actually going to recruit Mrs. Stash tomorrow on her day off. We're going to go have lunch by the water. And you guys can be looking for a post tomorrow where you can go and win one of your very own Monkey Colt t-shirts, probably a tumbler as well, coffee cups. Monkey Colt is one of our new sponsors this season. Monkey Colt Coffee, it's a brand that is breaking onto the market here in the next couple months. It's a good friend, Matt, I met through a networking event, and it's great coffee. He's in the trial phases. I have been lucky enough to still taste it. I have coffee for these guys, but they don't want to meet up with me and get it from me, so whatever. I'm probably just going to drink it all myself. It's great coffee. It's for a great cause. Donates to local Children's Cancer Foundation.
Hold on.
The more we get into
the National Pediatric
Cancer Research Foundation
is who each bag will be donated. A part will be donated to that foundation. So
that's right. And as we get the season going, and as Monkey Colt gets going through the beginning of the season, we're all both kind of launching our season and their brand at the same time. So it makes a lot of sense. You'll be hearing a lot more from us on them, and a lot more from them on us. And of course, if you caught us in the off season, you did see that we had a wonderful, lovely brand ambassador, right, boys? Remember, Shooter, I'll let you bring that one in because you tried to embarrass her. And I think she did pretty good thanks to us. Renee was here. So, we'll hear more from her. We'll hear probably from Matt throughout the season too. And you'll definitely have the opportunity to win some great gear from them, help out a very, very good cause. And hopefully very soon we will. Renee Flowers. Sorry, I'm really not. Anyways, yeah, Renee Flowers. She was here. Renee. But yeah, we'll get
Renee
through
Flowers
them this
brings
season.
stash showers. No, it's opposite. No.
Are you trying to go Ian Cole on us right now in the first episode, or what? You're just trying to get canceled right away?
But I do want to say for that, since the last time I saw you, Stash, we did do the Thunderbolts picnic, and Monkey Cult was thankful enough to hook me up with some swag to raffle off. And actually, I think his was one of the most bid on items in the raffle there at the picnic. We raised $500 for that charity. Unfortunately, it was kind of a short notice, plus the hurricane coming in, that we were only able to raise $500, but we still thank you to everybody that was there, Serena, Sarah, and thank you for Matt for donating. Shooter donated something. Shooter was there. Mrs. Shooter was there, which surprised everybody. Oreo was there. So it was great.
I was in Tennessee.
Yeah, but so I'm not a coffee drinker. So Matt had given me some to taste, but I smelt it for days and days and days. And then at the picnic, I actually divvied it out to 3 different people for them to try it and give me some feedback on it. Nothing but good feedback on this. So thanks again to Matt, and everybody says they can't wait to see it on the shelf.
And hey, Matt's here, so I better read the first line of what he sent me for the talking points. All right, ready?
Good.
Monkey Cult Coffee is a company that uses specialty grade coffees and infuses them with unique flavors. Unlike coffee that uses cheap beans and adds excessive flavoring to mask the inferior quality of their coffee beans, we, Monkey Cult Coffee, actually takes specialty grade beans that grade in the mid 80s or higher. These are B plus or A plus beans, and infuse them with custom flavors. And what's that first flavor, Stash?
It is bourbon chocolate.
Gosh darn, that sounds
it
delicious.
Smells
fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It smells wonderful.
It's pungent. Once you grind it up, it definitely, you better put it on airtight container. But it's damn good. Serena says it tastes like a chocolate brownie. And I'm kind of like a firm believer that it's all just like slightly different for everybody's palate, but that's pretty close to what it tastes like to me too.
But sir, I gave some to Serena, I gave some to Ginger, and then I gave some to the Queen of Boltsville, Kim Ricci, and all I've had is good feedback.
Oh yeah.
The other day I met up with Matt to give him the $500, and I had Dunkin' Donuts in my hand.
Huge mistake. Did he just smack you immediately?
He said, yeah, I can't wait to get this on the shelf so you won't have to go there. And, and he's going to try to get it most organic, very healthy kind of brew. So this is, and then he gave me a hint because I only drink iced lattes because I don't like the taste of coffee. So it tastes like chocolate milk and keeps me awake. So he said, here, just try the coffee with some flavored creamer and you'll have the same effect. So,
yeah, honestly, back when I was a younger boy, I met Mrs. Stash as I was a coffee jockey for Seattle's Best. And I had to go through the whole training. So, I mean, I'm not just your average person out here talk about coffee. Right. I went through the whole thing. I know grading beans, how it's done, where it's roasted, quality, all that stuff. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a coffee that's going to take not only our market by the storm, but it's going to grow real fast. So we're excited to be part of it. And I guess let's move on now, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about some hockey, boys. We're 24 hours away.
Hey, so they can go get some merch now, and then you're going to post tomorrow. We got a contest coming tomorrow, so look for that on Facebook, and we'll post it on. I'll post the link to that on Twitter too. So go to the website, buy some merch, and we'll let you know when the coffee's available. But we've got a hockey season to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Where do you guys want to start? You want to go predictions? You want to look at the schedule? You want to talk about the controversy that's going on?
No.
Let
I
should
guess
we
get
just
that out of the way. I guess.
I was gonna say, should we just get out of the way?
Because I have nothing to say about it. Honestly, I have literally nothing to say about it because, like I think I told you guys, I don't want to have a take that ends up aging like milk, and then also, I mean, I
Is there a
don't
wrong,
want to have a
right?
take that's going to get me canceled. You know,
There's
what I mean?
no right or wrong answer to this because we've been seeing it all over Facebook. So let's go over. There was allegations that he was grooming a minor. He's came out and said that it's untrue and he's gonna fight it. The Lightning came out and said we're suspending him until the investigation's done. That's basically in a nutshell. If you read all the different posts, if you support him, you're supporting a rapist. If you support her, then you're saying he's guilty before proving it. There is no right or wrong. No matter what, his career's over. He'll never play again. He'll never play in the NHL, whether it's true or it's not true.
Well, why do you say
That's
that?
always
That's
going to be
true.
attached to
There's
him.
no way.
Oh, I
There's no
don't
way.
think.
I mean,
so.
you've got a guy.
Listen, if this comes out, okay, fine. You know what? You want to get me into it because I think that's very messed up for you to say because this is a baseless allegation right now. That's all it is.
Right.
It's a random account on Twitter, and if that is the case, then you can just go start ruining guys' career right now. If it takes one Twitter post to completely ruin a guy's career and he can never play again, and he's still technically in the height of his career, and he can never play again because of a Twitter post with no evidence and no actual name or real person behind it, then I'm going to start posting about Crosby tomorrow, right?
Well, here's
get that crybaby out of the league.
Here was a post that came out last night. Before the Flames start the playoffs this year, I'm just going to make a whole bunch of allegations about Huberdeau, Lindholm, Kadri, and Mangiapane.
Exactly.
Then they'll all get suspended with due process and they'll lose in the first round.
Exactly. So that's the only reason I don't think where your take of him he'll never play again is on. I think he clears his name, he'll be fine. The problem is, how does he clear his name?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem.
How long does it take?
Right. How long does it take? And in the court of public opinion, to certain people, he will never be clearing his name, no matter what. Even if he does even if the NHL does come and say, no, this absolutely was completely wrong, or that this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just terrible. And that's the other thing too is, damn it. See, I really don't want to talk about this, but Dan Whitford in the comments, my question, why now? And that's the other thing. And I know it sucks for three dudes to be sitting here talking about this and asking that question. But if you think sexual trauma can only be perpetrated on women, then you're also coming from a place of maybe less informed. And I'm just going to let you know right now, you don't have to be a woman to be able to say, hey, why didn't you come out sooner? Why is it just now? I mean, I you know what I'm saying? With a valid question. And that doesn't have to be, oh, well, you don't understand the trauma. Well, I think that it doesn't just have to be sexual trauma or whatever else. Any kind of trauma is trauma to a point. So, I mean, you can relate to a point somehow. It's just always the timing with these things, and the lack of actual faces or name or real responsibility behind this. To me, it always seems that it ends up going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
if the person had real allegations and real evidence or whatever, this wouldn't be anonymous, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think we can agree that the Lightning did the right thing to just say, all right, well, you're not going to wear this jersey as we kind of figure things out. But I mean, he's still technically under control of the team. So they're going to find out what's going on. I mean, I kind of lean towards where there's smoke, there's fire, but I totally understand where you're coming from as far as like, you know, how can a random Twitter account just pop out of nowhere and come out with this? And if anyone wants to read, you know, exactly what the allegations are, I retweeted it earlier today. Go to We the Thunder Pod on Twitter. You can read what this young lady had to say. It's pretty despicable, if true. So,
you know, and I'll finish by saying this, and this is what I was kind of afraid of walking this line, but I always say this, all right? I'm 42 right now, right? I graduated high school back in 99. From the time I was basically a junior, I was dating underclassmen. I was dating freshmen, and I dated younger girls probably up until I was 20. So it wasn't really until I moved out here when I turned 21 and like kind of like, okay, now I'm 21 and now, you know what I mean? it wasn't until then that I really started thinking about age gap between me and a girl. And even then, I dated a senior in high school when I was 21. I didn't know she was a senior. I was in college. I was going to HCC. She was hanging out with a bunch of other people that were my age. And I didn't go up and say, hey, how old are you? We started hanging out. We hung out a couple times over the course of a month, and she didn't tell me. I didn't ask. And then after we kind of, really started liking each other, it became, and, we didn't date for long and it wasn't serious. But then if she were to look back and be like, well, now it seems like, to me, that seems a little disingenuous as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there was any intent or anything else like that. I wasn't quite as mature as other dudes. And that's just, I don't know, I don't feel like that made me a bad guy. I'm not despicable, and ever since then I've dated women only older than me. So it's really strange. I went from dating girls who are only younger than me to I've never dated a girl that's younger than me since I turned 21. So I'm just saying,
there's several holes in it, but there's also, he's never played in one team for 4 years. And that was one that it happened for 4 years. The age of consent in Canada is 16. I've seen several people different bring that up. They say it could take up a year for them to even finish this investigation. And I see this, let's assume it's true for a minute, would the loss of Cole be a game season changer? They had him on the opening night roster. He was a lock for that last pairing on opening night roster. So is it a game changer? It's definitely something the Lightning didn't know 3 days ago when they were planning their season. So does it change it a little bit? It does. Now we got two guys in Fleury and Myers who really hasn't proven much that are going to go in there and have to fill in this void until we at least get Bogosian back.
And yeah, I agree. I think it does change some things. He wasn't going to be like getting Hedman minutes or what we expect Sergachev to get minutes wise. But as we saw from the preseason, if there's anything this team is lacking, there's some depth issues in the organization right now. So when you have an extra man down, it's next man up, and he's got experience. He had the experience that the rest of our back end of the blue line just doesn't have.
Well, and they were definitely talking about him, they as in the team, of filling in the void on the PK and blocking the shots and doing some of those veteran things that McDonough did. So he was definitely a presence that they were banking on bringing. I mean, they didn't sign him for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, he was a free agent acquisition. It's not like they went out and pursued this guy because they didn't think he was going to come in and play minutes for this team. So,
yeah, especially when you got guys on this roster, and specifically Eric Chernak, who just loves to freaking get in front of every puck he can. Yeah. Even in the preseason, as we've seen, he's going to miss time because he's just that shot blocking magnet. Well,
and then the only other question I would have, exactly, Mike is right in lockstep with me. Mike's need in the comments when we get the cap space back. They would have to cut him, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would have to actually cut him.
There's been a debate whether if it was an off-ice incident or an on-ice incident, whether it go against the cap. The Lightning have come out and said it will face against their cap this year. Literally, we have $37 left.
Yep.
So,
yeah, we have barely enough for a nice dinner out. Yeah, one person having a dinner at maybe Chili's.
Quick shout out to Mike and Sarah and Dan. Dan's going to track you down, Schoolie, until you send him that speaker. I saw Steven out there. Adrian was here.
Mandingo.
Kevin.
Adrian made it.
Yeah, Kevin. Mandingo's here. But yeah, hey, what's up, everyone? It's good to be back. And if you didn't hear, every Monday night this season. Last season we did Tuesdays. We're gonna do Mondays. So probably a few less post game shows. We'll stick to 8, 9 o'clock. If there is a game on Monday, which is not too many, we will do the post game for those Monday night games.
And by the way, you are a little low, your volume.
No, I turned it down because I thought someone said it was a little high.
No, they were saying you were low, so you made it even lower.
Oh, jeez. There we go.
I thought it was better when he wasn't able to be heard.
I have to turn it up.
Personally,
just to get rid of here. Listen, this whole podcasting thing.
Can you?
Brand new to us. Brand new.
All right. So,
all right.
Ian Cole,
Predictions?
like whatever, wasted
Prediction.
Pickup, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. We'll keep an eye on it. And of course, talk about that on Monday nights. Shall we take a look at the schedule?
Let's do it. You want to do schedule?
Yeah, schedule, and then we'll jump into the predictions, because I know this is why everyone's out there watching, because they love to hear our beginning of the season predictions, and then 82 games later, listen to how off we were. And actually, we weren't that off last season, so stay tuned for that. So schedule. I asked you guys to pick out a couple games that you wanted to check out this season, like your top 3 games on the schedule. Did anyone actually do your homework?
Yes,
I did.
Oh wow! Who wants to start? You guys we'll probably all have the same games. So
well, for me, I'll go ahead, and I gotta say tomorrow, because it's the Rangers. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, okay, regular season opener, start of the season. But I'm still probably looking a little bit a week or two down the road to see that highlight matchup. To start with the Rangers right away, up there in MSG. I don't like starting on the road, but to start at MSG after that series that we had last season, a little bit more healthy now. I'm absolutely looking forward to tomorrow night. Have been all off season waiting for this one. That's my number one, my first one. What's you guys' first game that you're looking forward to?
Mine is tomorrow, obviously. It's going to be the Igor's better chant again tomorrow. So prepare for that. And it's going to be come right out of the gate. We've seen Vasi in 2 preseason starts give up 2+. So it's going to be a nice little showdown. Definitely their early picks for the Vezina is Igor, almost hands down across the board, anywhere you look. So I want us to go ahead and attack early. And I saw a comment in here earlier if we thought Names was going to fill in good for Palat. I actually think he will. I think Names back is actually a pickup over Palat. He has a lot of friendship with Kucherov. I like the little Russian connection. I know the lines today had Point, Stammer, and Kuch on that first line, and Names was down to the third line with Koki and who was it? Koki and
I had that
Colton.
Up and
Colton, I think.
I accidentally closed that page earlier.
No, Names was Koki and Colton. So, which I still think I think we saw in this one preseason game here at home in Emily, we saw Names still has that speed on him. But I wouldn't mind seeing him and Cooch together on a line somewhere down in the season.
Oh yeah. Knowing Cooper, I mean, what they have today, which is Stamkos, Point, Cooch, all your eggs in that first line. Hagel, Paul, Killer, and then the third line you talked about. We know the fourth line. Knowing Coop, I mean, how many times is that going to change throughout the season?
Well, Vlad always scores against his former teams, and the Rangers is one of his former teams.
Good thing he's been on so many teams since he left.
We're going to need it.
Yeah.
What about you, Shooty? What's your first game on the schedule?
I'm going to go. I tried to pick some that I knew you guys wouldn't pick. So I've got a couple extra. But the first one I'm going to go with, because I know you guys won't pick it, is New Year's Eve versus the Arizona Coyotes, because I think that's an automatic W. And it's the New Year's Eve game. I don't think we've had a New Year's Eve game here in a couple years, at least that we could attend.
You don't care about any games up until the December 31st?
Listen, all 3 of my important games are in the first month.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. I see what you're saying. Because I was just going back by calendar. So, fair. We don't all have to do it the same way. Not that we ever do on this show. So, all right. I like that. A New Year's Eve game. That's on my calendar. It's just, it has to be Arizona. It couldn't be anybody but
what's an easy win?
Arizona.
And they moved it earlier too, so it's earlier, so you're not like getting out of the game and then it's like an hour to the ball drop or less.
Yeah, it's a 5 p.m. game, so you should be out there by 9. Easy.
There you go.
8,
Serena.
8:30.
Serena's always thinking. There you go. Everyone get your tickets now.
Listen, anytime Serena could have a party, she's down.
She already said next Monday is her birthday, so we definitely need to do at least a shot. Birthday shot. This
Friday's mine.
Yeah, Schooley's got a birthday this week.
Yeah, but somebody already celebrated yours last weekend, so it's too late.
And hey, wait a second.
Last night.
Because I just wished him a good evening. It is Shooter Jr.'s birthday today. Right. We went out to eat. He got himself, we went and bought him his first electric guitar. So happy birthday, Landon. Hopefully
and he got his learner's permit today too. So
next year I'll be getting chauffeured to games. So
I can't wait for that. I'll just meet you at the Shooter Dome and we'll ride out from there.
Steve's got a birthday coming up too. Hey, it's birthday season. It's hockey season and it's birthday season too, apparently.
Yeah.
Just means everybody got pregnant at Valentine's Day.
Apparently.
I was a winter conception. September 1st. I'm absolutely a winter baby for sure. Heart of the winter in December. That's when I was conceived.
All right, you got another game for us?
The other game I'm really excited about is that Calgary game mid-November, the 17th. That's the game. Calgary here. Not only is Pickles back in the house, I know it's not his first time, but they've added to that team. And we've got some rivalry with some of those players that have gone to that team now, with Uyghur and Huberdeau being up there. Kadri is there now too. Yeah. Exactly. So it's gonna be an interesting test to see how we perform against them. And I mean, we play Dallas just before that, and it'll be interesting to see where Dallas falls in the West this year too, because they've been that team that's like, they should have been better than they have the last couple of years, and I don't think they can quite figure out their coaching and their front office can't get on the same page, and I think that's the only thing holding that team back. So but yeah, that Thursday night game, November 17th against Calgary, I'm looking forward to that one right here at Amalie Arena. I'm pretty sure you're going to catch me there for that one.
And Kevin's chiming in here. 12-13, the Kraken are coming to town. By the way, did you see Bowie? The Kraken's
the troll.
Dude, I'm surprised you didn't make an entire game out of it for this first episode.
I almost
think you're holding that in the back pocket
video for him, because I thought the video was like so non-dramatic of him like slowly like going down the rope to enter the arena, where it looked like they definitely did not practice that.
Anticlimactic much.
And then I don't know if he actually has it, but I saw a little Bowie doll who has like a tramp stamp on his backside. So I don't know if the real Bowie has this, but the doll that they sell does have
it's got a little bit of Florida man in him. All right. Or Florida girl, I guess.
Schoolie, what else you got? You got another game?
Yeah, mine's Saturday against Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay.
I think Pittsburgh was looking good last year. The first 7 of the first 9 games are played on the road this year.
Yeah.
My 3 important games are all in this first month to see how they're going to come out in this first month play. And, we're going to have Bogo and Sorelli coming back in a couple weeks. So I want to see how they get out the gate. We have 2 separate 6-day trips in the season in the opening 3 weeks. And then they have their biggest trip coming is California. They're getting that done, and getting that done and over with in the first couple months of the season. So
a lot of springtime hockey in Tampa Bay is what we're gonna
get. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of home games. Yep, and I wanna see that coming up on Saturday and see us get out to the pretty hot start.
Yeah, I think that's interesting you bring that game up, because if you remember last season, that early season matchup against the Penguins, everyone wrote this team off.
Yep,
right away, because they got handled.
Opening night last year. Opening night.
Did it matter? Did it matter really in the long run? See that, and this is where what do you know, Thomas Schooley? You and I don't see eye to eye here. Imagine that. But I just don't think the first month of the season is really that important to this team, personally, based on their history under John Cooper.
Yeah, but you don't want to get in too much of a hole, because I don't remember in October we've had 7 away games and 2 home games. And then you got to look at that first week. You've got the Rangers opening night. Columbus Friday is their opening night. And I think Pittsburgh has a game before that Saturday game, but that's their first Saturday night game. So you know how Saturday night games at
Michigan
are.
Michigan wrote today for NHL.com. There's an importance of beginning the season well. Teams that get off to a quick start greatly increase their odds of making the playoffs. The 8 qualifying teams from the East last year established their playoff position early on and held it for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a rough first month to just have 2 home games and have that schedule. But November, 4 away, 9 at home. December, 5 away, 9 at home. January, 8 away, 5 at home. February, 7 away, 5 at home. March, 7 away, 8 at home. April, 3 at home, 3 away. So, even if they get off to a slower start by the new year, they have a really good chance having 18 games at home in November and December to right in the ship.
Yeah. And again, too, when you look at the Atlantic, it's not like you're in real big danger right now, too, with the, with the teams there. If you stay in the top 3, we're going to be pretty good. And I don't see the other teams below us that they're all kind of rebuilding. They're all trying to vie. Montreal, who knows? You know what I mean? So I do feel as long as they can play 500 hockey until Sorelli and Bogo come back, that's really what I'm looking for. Really. I just would see consistent. I mean, obviously I want better than 500, but you know what I'm saying? Like just consistent hockey, not getting blown out, but we have a lot of turnover on this roster this year too. You know what I mean? So, about is the same that we've had before, but I would argue, even though we lost that whole, grinder line or whatever, this I think is a little bit more detrimental to this team. The losses we had this offseason between Ruutu and McDonough. And so I think that if they can just kind of stay the course, avoid injuries, that's my main thing. I just want this team to stay healthy in the first month or 2. I just no bad injuries early in the season. Let them all get established. Let Coop figure out what he has to work with. So that way when November, December rolls around and they've got more home games and they're a little bit more comfortable, he knows how to really fine-tune this roster he has. So, Shooty, what's your number 2 on the list?
Well, since you guys didn't go for the obvious, I'll go for one of the obvious ones. March 19th, New Jersey Devils. First trip to Amalie of the season, late in the season.
But it's a back-to-back, too,
with
them. It's a home and home, right?
I don't think so. Is it?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
Okay.
No. Sorry.
I think we have back-to-back games in New Jersey a little bit earlier in the season, which was kind of just a weird.
It's not back-to-back. It's March. There's 2 of them, the 14th and the 16th.
Yeah,
they have a day in between the 2.
But I'm saying it's a home and home series with them.
Yeah,
no,
it's in the middle of the week.
Both away.
Oh, they are both away.
Both away.
Oh, then they come back on the 19th. That's right. Wow.
And then they come back, and that'll be Palat's first time back in the building with the different sweater on.
And who thinks he's going to get the biggest tribute out of any of the returning players?
Well, who else do we have that would be returning this year?
No, I mean overall, because we've had Johnson, we've had Pickle. Like, who are the guys we've had come back in the last few years?
Who got the biggest one so far?
I think
Yanni,
right?
Yanni had gotten the biggest. I think
Johnson was
I think
big
Pally
too.
gets. So TJ's was pretty good, but I think Pally is going to get. I really think he's going to get the biggest response, the bigger package, the real. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. See, Adrian.
Do you still? I don't know, man. See, you're talking about fans. Sure, the fans are always going to love Yanni more, but I'm talking you, the organization knows Palat.
Oh yeah,
way more for this team than even McDonough did for this team.
McDonough might even get a bigger one than Palat does.
But I will say that's a really good one too. And I still think that's the fans. I think the fans are probably going to respond more to that. But I think as far as the Lightning production and what the Lightning do for him, I think Palat's going to get the biggest.
Definitely more highlights. Definitely more highlights for Palat. But McDonough was definitely closer with McDonough was closer with Maroon, with Hetty.
Well, and the fan base too, really.
Yeah.
Because as much as everyone loves Pally, he wasn't out there riding the golf carts getting pizza and coffee every morning. It was Patty and Big Mac, you know what I mean? So but anyways, yeah, that's gonna be a good one. And I didn't pick that one because I figured everyone else would. Honestly, I obviously I saw the New Jersey games. That's actually why I didn't know exactly the schedule, because I tried to not look at that specifically because I knew that'd be an easy one. But then my number 3 is probably the most obvious one. Late in the season, Thursday, February 9th, Colorado Avalanche come back to town. That's my number 3.
I don't think that team's of rebuilding worse than I think we are.
Well, hey, that's fine. But
I think they're still be pretty good.
I do too, and I just want those fans back in our house. That's all I want. And then we play them again right after that. So it's here on the 9th. Then we go to Dallas. Then we go to Colorado. Then we go to Arizona, and then we go out to Vegas too. So that's that Midwest. That's that Midwest road trip that we got.
Speaking about October babies, February 14th in Denver, Colorado, versus the Lightning. Bitter. Take your honey to the mountains.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And have a little Stammer Jr. by the next season. All right, that's a good one. School, you got one more for us?
Yeah, mine, like I said, all 3 of mine were in the very first month. My third one is the 21st against the Panthers down in Sunrise.
National televised.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They just gave an extension tonight down there. It's going to be interesting. We saw him play here this last home game at Emily preseason game. If there's going to be that Bobrovsky ends up getting sat for night, and how they're going to go this year. And then brand new coach, that they're already ready to get rid of. So I think it's going to be interesting. The 21st right off the bat, trying to do that Florida Tampa series.
Well, I mean, we already saw that really no rivalry.
Yeah.
Right. The last 2 years in the playoffs, there's not really any rivalry there. And then that team got rid of 2 of their best players and hasn't really replaced them.
Nope.
Fired a coach that, I mean, sure, they underperformed in the playoffs, but still had them trending the right way. I think that's way less interesting than Colorado coming back, personally. You know what I mean? You say, oh, Colorado, they're in rebuild. Florida's in much bigger of a rebuild, if you ask me, because they're just like they're just like Dallas, right? They can't, their ownership and their coaching staff, they can't get on the same page. So they, like, ownership wants to have one type of team, and they can't find the right coach to fit their mentality. And I think that leads to, okay, so Mike Snead does make a good point because they're bringing Kachuk. They do have Kachuk now.
And he made those comments about Tampa.
Yeah, so he's just got to. He's got to. Yeah. That's what you want your guy to do, right? That's what you want your new
After
FA
you get swept,
to do.
He's coming for us.
He has to.
And he is a pain in the ass type of player, too. We're going to hate that guy.
I hate that dude. I like his dad. I like his brother. That dude's a POS in my book. But whatever. No. It's the Ottawa. It's the one in Ottawa. Sorry. It's the brother. It's the brother in Ottawa that I don't like. But anyways.
And they're both in our division now. So
yeah, but now they're both in our division. So great. But yeah, I just feel like I'm not even worried about the Panthers anymore. Like, I was like, oh man, that team could eventually be some competition in the state. And after what they did in the off season, I'm just not threatened by them anymore. And the Blue Jays just showed us once again that any pro team in Toronto just ain't gonna make it out of the first round of the playoffs. So you
see Austin Matthews was at that game too.
Yes, well, him and his 5-head.
All right, this isn't gonna be mine, but I'll throw the date out there anyway because we talked about it so people know. December 8th is McDonough's return with Nashville. So if you're looking to see Mac get his tribute,
early Christmas present,
get there December 8th.
I'm gonna have to reach out to him on social media because I need to get I don't do this. You guys know me. I don't do this, but I'm gonna have to figure out some way to get my sweater signed by him when he comes back. I need that Stadium Series sweater signed by him.
I can tell you probably how to do it.
We will track you down, McDonough.
I figured you could.
But yeah. All right, I'll give you one more. And by the way, I'm with you, Schoolie. I mean, as good or bad the Panthers are going to be this season, it's always a good game when it's Florida and Tampa Bay. It's just always entertaining. All right, so I'm kind of torn here between two dates. November 8th, you've got the Connor McDavid show coming to town. I missed it last year. It's nationally televised this year. Or I kind of circled April 11th too, which is the second to last game of the season against Toronto on ESPN. And who knows? Those could be the top two teams jarring for that top playoff spot, at least maybe top of the division. That
could be I mean, I know we have a lot of rebuild, but I know this team is gritty. You could be looking at, I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get to that later. I don't want to predictions.
Well, we can jump into predictions. I did take a look. So you do have, Thomas, you mentioned the West Coast trip October. They also have short West Coast trips in January and another in February. So they've got
Midwest.
I don't know who Cheerios they pissed in for this schedule, but it's a rough schedule.
Well, everybody's right, because we're the Patriots of the NHL now.
I keep seeing about the back-to-back games. If you go to any other team where you're all almost balanced, I think there was only two teams that was less than us in back-to-back games. So it really comes to, is the team we're facing on that back-to-back, are we also the back end of their back-to-back? Is when you start looking into that. Are we always the team's first game? Are they not having a back-to-back also? Because you're going to get Elliott in the one and Bassey in the other.
And we also benefit from that a lot with our neighbors down south too, because we get a lot of times they go there first.
Right.
And sometimes they get, a couple days off or a day off, but sometimes they got to come right here, which usually doesn't fare well in those back-to-backs for them.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the schedule this year, or should we jump to it?
I mean, we covered it. We got the Valentine's Day game away, but still, we got the New Year's Eve game. We got the return of our old players. We've got some new rivalries I think we're going to see. And
I mean, I saw someone say, of course, 1 week and a day from today, opening night. Emily, Torts back in the house.
Oh yeah.
As the new Philly coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be interesting to see. Torts back in the building, Philly brand new coach, the city that will not tolerate losing from Torts. So it's going to be interesting.
I don't know. I think that he might get a little more leash than he has in his last couple of stops in Philly. I really do. With the team being as young as it is, and that fan base being the freaking bunch of douchebags that they are, the entire city fan base for any professional sports team, I think he fits there. I do. I think he fits there. They like to call out their players for being crybabies. You know what I mean? If you can't cut it, get the hell out of Philly. And that's the kind of mentality Torts is going to have. I think he might have finally found the perfect place for him to coach. I don't know, but we'll see. And I'm here for it. I'm ready for that game.
Cool. All right. Everyone's ready for that game.
Who is
I'm still looking for tickets. And by the way, if you're looking for tickets, SeatGeek.com.
Yes, we're going to figure it out this year.
Use the code WTTPOD.
You're still really quiet.
$20 off. $20 off. And of course, they have, those charges like Ticketmaster does. But, that 20 cuts it in half, or maybe gets rid of those.
That covers the charges fees.
Yeah, right. Covers it. WTT Pod, your first time on there. It doesn't have to be Lightning tickets. You can go buy circus tickets. Wait, you can't buy circus tickets anymore. They don't have the circus.
Well, you can only buy those at the barber shops and the cleaners. That's where they sell those now.
Yes. for those backyard circus acts. Whoa, my hat just fell down.
Weird.
Ghosts in here. Speaking of ghosts,
Ghosts of Lightning Past.
Let's go into the season here and let's give our season predictions.
Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game.
Go get some ice. I'll be right back.
And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
All right. That was not a signal for Stash to just leave, but he did.
He said, "I'll be right back."
Okay. All right. So we did this last year. And like I said, we didn't really do that bad on it. So what I did was I did all pretty much the same questions as last year, added a couple others in there. And just so you get a sense of kind of how things went last year, we talked about how many points the Bolts would finish with during the season. Yours truly nailed it on the head with 110. That's pretty tough to do, but I did it. And then some things like where will Lightning finish in the division? None of us nailed that, actually. So let's go down the list here, and we'll start off with a new one. I was saying, Stash, I've got pretty much the same questions, but got a couple new ones here at the top. With this one, it is a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the most confident. How are you feeling about the Lightning going into the season right now? 1 to 10. Give it to me, Thomas Schooley.
I actually say a 7.
Do you have any reasoning behind this? That's not a. That's not.
I'm not. I'm thinking, yeah, he saw Serena instead of about the mini Bob Ross. That's why I took a pause there because I was reading it as he was grabbing it.
My happy little co-host.
I think this is going to be the team like a couple of years ago where they know the defense isn't going to be their strong point and we're just going to score. I think it's going to be, a lot of scoring. I think now they're really going to like their lines. Once Sorelli comes back, I really like names. I really think he's going to be a big difference this year. I think he's going to end up being big on that stat sheet.
Stash 1 to 10. Confidence.
8.5. I mean, wait, hold on. Confidence to what? Win the cup, or like
going into the season?
8.5.
With the team.
8.5.
Okay.
I'll break it down for you.
Sure.
First and foremost, I haven't seen anybody say anything about Big Nick energy. We get a whole season of Big Nick energy with him having an entire offseason. Fine. That's even better. Now we got Brandon Hagel, an entire offseason. Now the team knows what he can do. The coaching staff knows what he can do. He's going to be able to fit in. The other guys, Schooley, absolutely right, man. Vladdy's back. My Vladdy is back, and you're going to be in trouble. Hey, yeah. Hey, it's going to be fine. Offense is going to be fine. Defense, it's going to struggle a little bit, but I think you're going to see that top 4 play a lot of minutes early.
Oh yeah.
And then when Bogo comes back, he's going to help take some of those minutes back, especially from Sergei and Hetty. I do think you're going to see a way, especially special teams, because Bogo can play special teams. Bogo can do some of those things he didn't have to be asked to do last season with McDonough here too. It wasn't just all about Ian Cole going to fill that void. Bogosian was supposed to fill a big part of that as well. So I think that, we don't have – sure, it's not great to have, Fleury and Myers as our bottom 2 defensemen. But at the same time, I still think that we could play our top 4 and kind of wear them out a little bit early on, rest them in the middle part of the season, and then we can have a full defensive core going into the home stretch. So, yeah, I'm quite and also 88. As long as you got 88 back there, you got to start at an 8, right? Your confidence has to start at an 8 if you got 88 in the net. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, well, I'll be the low end then, I guess. I'm going with a 6.
Well, no, you're not.
I'm going with the 6.
No, you're not. Seriously?
Just it's on paper now, digital paper.
Wow.
6. Here's why.
Wow. Please turn your mic up so we can all hear this insanity.
No, I hear it fine.
There's still a little fine.
So
I want to make sure this is on the record.
I'm writing it all down. It's being recorded digitally through audio and video as well. All right, here's why. Everyone in the division has gotten a little bit better. Even those bad teams, Buffalo, Ottawa could be a surprise playoff team. So everyone's gotten a little bit better. Lightning have lost players. I'm a lot more worried about the defense than I was 48 hours ago. And the whole time I was watching the preseason, and I tried to watch every single game. Of course, I didn't watch Saturday night, and that's the game they won. And don't even start with the whole Europe, Florida Panthers series thing. But what I was looking for was which of these young guys are going to step up, and absolutely none of them did. So I'm worried about our depth of, what if 2 or 3 guys go down? We're going to have one line of just straight poo-poo playing in the NHL. And then 88, yes, 88 is any team would want to have 88. But did 88 get ruined last playoffs? Because guess where he gave up the game-winning goal to Florida, not Saturday, but the game before with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Guess where that goal went?
Blocker's
It was high blocker. So teams are going to be targeting that. So he's going to have to fix it, and I think he will. But, that's just 6 going into the season. That doesn't mean I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or
you're being disputed in the comments by Mike Sneed. Mike Sneed is saying that was high glove.
No, I think if you go back, it was blocker.
It was blocker.
Oh, he's okay. All right, never mind. Mike Sneed corrected himself.
Shooter's never wrong.
Well, we can get Mission Shooter on real quick.
Whoa. All right, so that was a tough one. Let's go with something a little bit more fun. Our captain, Steven Stamkos, is on his way to 2 milestones. One of them is getting to 1,000 points. He needs 28 points to do that. What game is Stamkos going to get that 1,000 points?
Oh,
this is a tough one. I hope you still got your magnet schedule out, Schoolie.
Get that abacus out.
I got about 40 of them.
Good. I need one. Hold on to one for me.
Yeah. I'll trade you some extra Monkey Cult swag.
Yeah. Listen, I have them in my car. Imagine that.
What?
I'm going to say December 8th at Nashville home game.
It's going to be December 20th in Toronto. Stamkos is always, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have small milestones, and I feel like we're looking at that's the perfect time.
So you got December 20th in Toronto. Schoolie, what was yours again? Sorry.
December 8th home against Nashville.
I don't know. I still feel like that's late because he just needs points, right? We're talking about points, not goals.
Yeah.
It's just points. Yeah.
I don't know. It's got to be early. For me, it's got to be earlier than that. Based on my prediction for points for the captain this year.
That sounds like something you would say, Stash.
Pretty sure I'm on record actually saying that exact same thing. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead. I'll stick with mine. I think it's way too late, but I'll stick with mine.
I'm going to go November 25th. That's Black Friday with the St. Louis
Thanksgiving showdown. Yeah. So I was actually looking there at like that Calgary game that I mentioned earlier on the 17th, Nashville, Boston, St. Louis. Yeah. There's mid to late November. Really, ideally, I think is where it's going to happen.
Well, would you like to officially change your pick?
Yeah, I'll say that Saturday game against Nashville in Nashville. I'll do that. I'll say that.
So the 19th, November 19th at Nashville.
Yeah, I think the captain's going to come out on a torrid pace. I really do.
All right, there you go. So you guys are both saying in Nashville games. One home, one away, and I'm going St. Louis the day
Mine's
after.
game 26.
Are you changing it up?
No, that's mine. It's game 26.
Oh, game 26.
Is
So
mine.
yeah, you're saying he's going to average up about a point per game, and we're saying he'll get better than that.
Stashes is game 18.
Yeah, me and Stash, we're kind of aggressive. You went back, but I mean, that's a point per game is probably about average for his career. How many games has he played in? He's at like 900 something games.
Yeah.
1,000 points. So a point per game
He's a
is
point per game player.
Definitely
He's
reasonable.
a point per game player. That's why, and I think he's going to absolutely be a point per game player well over. I think we're going to see him hit for the first time in his season. He hit 100 last year. I think he'll see 100 points this year too. I really do.
Oh yeah.
So
let's see what the crowd's
and if he's going to hit
got.
100, it's going to have to be. He's going to have to get some here early, I think.
Stephanie's got November 17th versus Calgary. Sarah's going game 15. Super aggressive.
Ooh.
Kim's got game 25. She said game 25. All right.
That's the queen of Boltsville, bitches. Put it on paper.
All right. A side question here. Does he break 100 this year?
Yes.
100 points?
Yes.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's keep the 100 points thing going for Stammer. Yeah.
Healthy Kucherov. Starting
point.
the season. A healthy Stammer starting the season. Healthy point in the middle. It's
Points looking good. In
You
the
might-
season, he's
listen,
looking good. And
know-
Cooch is getting there too.
I know we said that Coop doesn't usually like to put all his eggs in one basket, but to your point earlier, Scully, about defense kind of being an issue, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see those top three guys on the line together for a while to start the season, at least until Cirelli comes back. I really think Cirelli's the guy that really gives you the real ability to have versatility in your lineup. With Paul, also having Paul and Cirelli. Well, I mean, because Paul can play center as well. You know what I mean? So he's the most versatile along with Cirelli. But yeah, if he keeps Kucherov, Point, and Stammer on that top line, you could be looking at maybe an all-time line, like an all-decade line at least, for sure. You could be looking at all-decade line this year. So,
All right. Next one. Predictions.
oh, look, Stephanie Lane's right there. There's 108 points for Stamkos. It's her prediction. I like it.
I like it. I'd like to see some more bold predictions in the chat here while we go. But we got another one here. Which player on tomorrow night's roster will not be on the roster by the end of the season? Ian
Fleury.
Cole does not count.
Fleury. Hayden Fleury.
40A.
I guess we'll accept him. He's going to
So basically,
He's on the roster.
The two guys that are being replaced by Cirelli and Bogosian. That's kind of easy.
I mean, you could go Koki too, but I actually kind of liked him. And I think he's definitely got he's the ABB of this year. So it's going to be his to get sent back down. So I like him. And I'd like to see Perbix up here rather than a Fleury once he plays some more down in Syracuse.
You got a thing for Perbix, bro. Is this because it sounds like Publix? You want a
No,
Perbix sub?
I can't stand Publix actually, but Walmart.
Yeah, that's why he likes Walcott so much. He's like, let's get Walcott out there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't hear Scully anymore?
He muted me for saying no to Publix.
All right, I'm going to
Imagine
go.
I didn't see a fleet of Walmart trucks with American flags going down a Punta Gorda this week. I didn't see that. I'll tell you,
They just don't advertise
I
it.
did see a
I was going to say they actually had to come all the way from Alabama because their hub in Appalachia got flattened, got completely flattened. That's why our stores are all completely almost empty in this area because they sent them all down to Fort Myers. I was actually supposed to be doing this show from Sarasota. They were sending 10 of us from Pinellas County to Sarasota to help build some of those stores out, but they couldn't find hotels for us.
Yeah.
Same thing down in Fort Myers. They asked for a whole bunch of us to go down and help in Fort Myers, and there is no hotels to put us in. So actually the employees from Miami and Fort Lauderdale are going over and driving back every night because of the fact there's no hotels for them to stay in.
Hey, we come together in this tale. Let's talk about that, right?
Oh yeah.
And I definitely want to bring it up at the end at the end of the show too. We haven't talked about that yet, and we definitely need to. We'll get there. But Mike Sneed coming hard in the comments tonight.
Herb serves.
Talking about the perb serbs. That's a Florida thing, man. You ain't get it. Perb serbs. But yeah, no, Perbix definitely. I think he's there. It's just a matter of I think he just needs more professional experience. He's got the college experience. He just needs a little bit of time in the AHL to really kind of understand the system and what it's like to be a pro player versus a college player. But the skills, the size, I think it all translates. And they've been watching him for a while, so.
All right, I'll round it out. I'm going to go with you, Stash. I'm going to go with Fleury.
Yeah.
I don't know. That defense is thin, and they're going to need to. I don't know. Sean Day is going to see some time up in the big leagues this season, and I don't think they'll waste much time calling him up if they need to.
Yeah, that 6 and 7 spot on the defensive guys is definitely going to be a merry-go-round until Bogosian comes back for sure.
Well, and if someone hits waivers in a month and it's a solid veteran defenseman. He'll get claimed by Lightning.
Well, and the thing that I would like to see, and I hate to revisit this, but I would like to see the NHL not drag their feet that much because Ian Cole is affecting the cap hit. You know what I mean? Let the Lightning figure out, hey, do we need to put them on waivers?
Long-term IR.
Long-term. Well, can they or can
possible?
they not let the NHL? Well, I mean, I would say that. Well, I don't know. Like maybe they have to come up with a policy for that going forward or something. You know what I mean? Because like if a player is under investigation and the NHL, I would have to say that the NHL probably put pressure on the Lightning also to say, hey, he's not playing. You know what I mean? Like they had to have got some kind of memo being like, we'd be pretty disappointed, or you know what I'm saying? Like because
I believe if the NHL suspended him, it doesn't go against our salary cap, but because the Lightning did it.
See.
So, I think it goes against.
I'm curious.
He's getting paid, isn't he?
He's still getting paid. So, well, if he goes against the cap, that means he's getting paid. That's why he's that's why he's against the cap, because he is getting paid. If he wasn't getting paid, he wouldn't be against the cap. That's like the most basic cap salary like rules. But,
all right, let's do lightning round because we got a bunch of these left to go.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Who will be the Bolts' biggest in-division rival? So this one we can't really get a clear answer for at the end of the season. Just kind of get consensus, kind of subjective. In-division rival. I'll start. Let's go with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. I was going to piggyback off of you. I'm with Mike Sneed. I think it's going to be Ottawa this year. I think Ottawa could be that team that we finally just get that little bit of, because that Kachuk is a bitch, and he starts a lot.
If it's
of
not
shit
one Kachuk, it's the other.
That's the one that always starts shit that he doesn't finish, and I think the Lightning are gonna have zero tolerance for bullshit and shenanigans this year. That's the other thing. They might. There's some turnover in this stuff, but I feel like there's going to be a real grit and a real chip on their shoulder this year. And, I think you're going to see that Ottawa team is going to be the team that's really want to come and knock the Kings off the mountaintop, if you will. Even though we didn't necessarily win the division last year, we're still the toast of the division. And, you got to beat the man to be the man, so to speak. And in the East, we're still the man. Nobody in the East has beat us yet. It took a team in the West to beat us. So, I like Ottawa.
I say Boston. I think this is their last hurrah, and I think they're going to have to go balls to the wall.
I think you're right on that one.
So I think this is.
Well, you're right about Boston having like their one last hurrah for sure.
Yep. I think they play like this. This is the finale for them. This whole season's going to be a cup season for them. It's cup or bust.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah,
they're in full rebuild after this year.
In trouble.
Yeah.
And they got what's his name to come back for another season to kind of keep the boys together.
Yeah, they got Patty to come back, which I was shocked. I really didn't think Bergie was coming back.
All right, so we're all different teams there: Toronto, Ottawa, and Boston. What place will Lightning finish in the division? I'm going to say third.
I'm going to say second.
I'm going to say second.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that we've seen for the last couple of years, and we've won 2 Stanley Cups in the last few years, but the Lightning never finished in first place. So I don't think they really care, and that's a good thing about this team. And why it's tough to watch them doing preseason, even our starters, is like they know when they need to play.
They haven't.
If last season wasn't a testament to that, I don't know what is, because they went into the playoffs not playing the greatest, and then turned it on. All right, how many points will the Bolts get to this season? This is a tough one. As I mentioned earlier, nailed it last season, but that's because I'm a pretty good statistical.
So what do you say first this year? You be first.
No, if you nailed it last year, then you set the bar.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. They're going to get 106 points.
I was going 107.
I should have said it first because I was going to say 106. 106.9.
Sure you are, guys. Okay.
Damn it.
I won't go first
as soon as I challenged you to
anymore.
say it first, you're going to say 106. I knew it. As soon as I was like, you say it first. 106.
You can still say it if you want to.
No,
but it's kind of like when I get the veal parmesan and then Mrs. Shooter gets the veal parmesan. I'm like, really?
It's nothing like that.
Parmesan?
It's absolutely the opposite.
I know when you guys are arguing, it's like mommy and daddy fighting.
Some deep issues.
Don't worry. We can still send you to your room, dude.
That's where I had the most fun.
You better go.
All right. Well, what are you guys going with? I got 106.
That's 2 for you tonight, son. That's 2 for you.
107 for me.
107. By the way, last year was 110.
Ooh, yeah.
Going 110?
No. And I like Stephanie Lane Sanders saying 108, same as Stamkos points. I like that. I like symmetry. That's why 22 is my favorite number.
So you're going 108?
No, I'm saying I like hers. I'm gonna stick with 106. I think 106 is enough to get second in the Atlantic this year.
Okay. As we know,
the Queen of Boltsville, the only stat that really matters, the only opinion that really matters on the show, 109.
I mean, truly, she should be on all of these predictions tonight. But
you know what? Wow, hindsight, Mr. Host.
Next year, if you win the contest this year. All right, Vassy holds the record.
The opinion
for
that
most
matters the
wins.
least in the comments, Adrian D'Souza, 111. And
Who's
the better
got the
half
most?
of that prediction, Serena, went away as well. So thanks for chiming in the chat. Sarah Beard also said 105. And I'm right on YouTube, 96. I know who that is, but I forget who that is.
Borderline
Not making the playoffs.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. That could probably be missing the playoffs right there.
I know that's a person that we know that signs in on YouTube and then they don't have their same name as when they sign on Facebook. I forget who that is. So remind us who you are, please, by name, because I forget when you come in with your different screen name.
All right, Vassy.
Michael Sachs is up in the chat now. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see him tonight. Appreciate you.
A little late, Michael. A little late.
Hey, better late than never. Right. This is some of our best late episode numbers we've had in a while too. So
and you know what we never mentioned the stars too. If you guys see that little thing that says give us 100 free stars or whatever, tap that little thing and give us 100 free stars.
Yeah.
Oh, we have free stars?
That you occasionally do. It says give the host 100 free stars.
Yeah. Because if you didn't see that, we did make the post early on to start the episode. We didn't even say it. We didn't promote ourselves. We promoted everybody else. We didn't promote ourselves. If we get 500,000 stars throughout this season, which seems like a lot, but it's really not that much, we'll throw a huge, it's going to be huge, all expenses party for all of our fans.
I think these are all the free 100 stars. These blank posts.
Sweet.
There you go.
All right. We only have.
It's 200 free. It's 200 free.
That's 1,000 so far. We're getting off to a good start.
Go. 499,000 to go.
That's right. We got 999,000 problems, but 1,000 stars ain't one. Anyways, that was terrible. Move on. But anyways, I just want to say that. Remember, folks, we're trying to do a little bit more this season, trying to give back, be more involved. And we'll nope. I'm just saying, no speaker. Just saying. Michael Sachs still waiting on that speaker. Schoolie.
I know.
Just saying. But anyways, perp
Oh
serves
wait,
for
that was
everyone.
Sachs that has the.
Yes,
We're still
yes,
waiting for it.
It's not Mike Dixon. It's Michael Sachs. Perp serves for everyone. Mike Sneed says if we
Perps.
get 500,000 stars, and it'll be better. It'll be Walmart subs if that's what Schoolie wants.
I have a question for you. Do you know the concept of a lightning round? Because we are failing it.
Have you been on this show before?
I know, but I
think our first episode back is going to be our
7
shortest
a.m.
episode
flight
of the season.
tomorrow, so I need to go to sleep now. But we're not done yet.
Yeah, because I have a couple things I want to go over with you guys.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I was going to take a sleeping pill mid-show, and if I did that, I would be asleep by now. So good
That's
thing.
weird because I thought you took one to start the show.
No, my volume is just down too low. All right, Vasi holds the record for most wins by a goaltender in a season at 44. How many wins is Vasi going to get this season? I'll start. I'm going to go with 19. No, I'm just kidding. I just said that to piss off everyone because I said the blocker comment earlier. I won't go first because you guys are going to say, oh, I was going to do that. 39 is the record. Is he going to beat it? No, I'm sorry. 39 was last year. 44 is the record. Will he beat it?
I was going to say like 38.
I was saying 36.
Just under 40. Oh, and I also...
I think because of that, because
Moose. I think
a lot of back-to-backs. Yeah, I think
Moose gets a little bit more action as part of it. Yeah, I really do. I think Moose gets more starts. So
38, 36, 35.
Boom.
Which Bolt will win an award this season, and what award will that be? This is one that none of us won because no Bolts won any awards, which seems to be the go-to.
I don't think any will either. I say none.
Me too.
Well, you can say none, but you have to pick a guess.
None for none.
Okay. You know what?
I think Cooper finally gets the Jack Adams.
I think there's a chance we could see Stamkos have the most points in the league.
Rock Richard.
Yeah, I think we see him have another Richard trophy. I think there's a chance. I really do.
Okay,
that's that. If there's an award on this team, because Makar isn't gonna not win the Norris Trophy from now on, right? Because he's just gonna keep being a winger playing defense, and they only reward offense for blue liners anymore. So. It's not going to be Hedman. And we already know that Shesterkin is just getting knobbed off by all the award givers. So he's going to win the Vezina. So I don't think we're going to have the highest goal scorer in the league on our team. So there's not much left other than I could see Stamkos getting... almost like maybe 115. Like we could see him getting well north of 100 this season, I think.
And one of the things I wanted to run past you guys a little bit later is I have some predictions.
Sorel is never going to Selke.
No.
Sorry, Mike, because he doesn't score
this season.
He doesn't score enough goals.
And
besides, Bergeron's back too. And Bergeron's back, and they'll give it to Patty on his farewell tour for sure.
So. I have some predictions from one of the hockey places that I wanted to go over with you guys. But I thought it was interesting. In one of the categories, they have Draisaitl beaten out to McDavid because of the fact that they believe teams are going to focus more on McDavid and shut him down, and that's going to leave Draisaitl open. And I thought that was an interesting take. I was like, yeah, I could see Draisaitl was really heating up last year. He looked real good by benefit from being on the McDavid line. Yeah.
Yep.
So if anything from the Lightning wins, I think Coop finally wins the Jack Adams. We make the playoffs. This whole stuff to start the season with the Cole thing, and down a couple injured players. You're
right. So this could be the year that he finally gets that. Oh, you should have won it twice already by now.
It's going to be the Jack Adams or the GM award will go to JBB. I think those are going to be one of the the two that we win.
Well,
I'm going
okay.
with the only one I think we even have a chance to win, and that is Vasi's Vezina, even though I know he does not give a damn about winning that trophy. But I'll go with
two things he loves: kittens and cups, bitch, and that's all there is to it.
And his kitten died, so he now has it on
the
his
mask.
He has it on the mask. Yep.
For the kiddos. I'm sorry, kiddos, kittens, and masks. That's what he cares about.
All right, got an easy one here. Who leads the Bolts in goals this season? Last season it was the captain with 42. I'm gonna go first because I know you guys are all gonna copy off me. I'm gonna go point, but let's change it up here. Let's put a number next to that name. So I'm gonna go point, and Pointer is gonna hit 50 this season. Heard it here first, folks.
Wow.
50.
Wow.
Pointer. What you got?
Stamkos 52.
Stamkos with yep. I was gonna say Stamkos is gonna probably have. You want to make me say a number?
He scored 60 before. He looks like the young Stamkos these days.
I'm telling you, he's gonna. I even said that we weren't gonna have the goal leader, and now that I start thinking about it,
60 with 2.
I can't say I can't
beat Aaron Judge. Fuck it, 100.
No, you know what? No, you know what? Screw it. Stammer 62.
62.
I'll do it.
10 more than your measly 52 that you said.
You know what? And then I'll go back and I'll even say we might be looking at the Richard and the freaking Hart trophy for one guy. It's been a while since that happened. When's the last time?
Hey man, I'm not laughing at you, Statch, because you picked Stamkos last season and neither one of us did, and Stamkos led the team with 42 goals. So there you go.
Oh, stop it. You're about to get kicked off the show. First episode of the season.
That's why he hasn't revealed himself.
He doesn't even know how to spell the name right either. So
Killhorn.
I get if you put the horn in there, but at least put a dash in there. Killhorn, because that's how you're trying to pronounce it that way. And let's be obvious. Come on.
All right. This is different from the last one, but very similar. Who leads the Bolts in scoring? Last season was also Steven Stamkos, 106 points. Who's it going to be this year? I'll let you guys go first.
I say point.
You want to give me some points for point?
Point 110.
It's not a bad season. Stash?
Well,
points?
I'm gonna have to triple down at this point now. I think Stamkos goes 60 and 60.
Wow. 120. I like it. I'm going Cooch. We haven't talked too much about Cooch, but Uncle Cooch is back this season. The passes are already on
What's an
point
apple?
for 2 point or 2 Vladdy.
What's an apple?
Cooch is going to go 111.
Okay. All right.
All right. Which player in the bottom 6 or bottom 4 defenseman emerges as a key player? Again, we can't really name a true winner to this, but it's kind of subjective. But basically, what bottom 6 forward or bottom end defenseman emerges as one of the top players?
Well, who are you putting as your bottom? Because I would say Nemesnikov on the board.
I think we've got to go with what they have today as the bottom 6 or tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
So no Paul,
no
Hagel. They're second liners tomorrow.
So I say Nemesnikov.
Yeah,
I'm going with that too.
I would
That's too easy.
I like Vladdy Bieber. I like Vladdy Bieber.
I don't think he's and say look, I'm gonna go in with the Queen, and you guys can go by tomorrow's opening day roster, but I don't think Namas, and I call him Namas, as a Namaste, never wanted to leave. But I think he's gonna end up being a top 6 guy.
Oh, so do
at
I.
least until Sorelli comes back.
Today's practice he was third line center.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. But
so we're all going to go with him.
No, I'm going to go defenseman, and I'm going to say Myers. I'm going to say Philip Myers actually is a guy that they brought him in for a reason. We never thought They brought him here for a reason, but they strategically put him part of that package whenever McDonough left. And I think that as shallow as our D core is, one of those guys has to step up there at the bottom of that D. And I think that the biggest D we get from the bottom of the D is going to be Philip Myers.
Alrighty then.
Yeah,
by the way, last season, Stash and I went Corey Perry.
I almost went Perry this year again.
Schooley went Belmare. I think we decided the winner was basically Ross Colton.
Well, but of the three of us, Perry was definitely more impactful than Belmare.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously.
Yeah. But a little streaky though. Perry.
Yeah, but
I mean that's
but he did what he needed to, and he had a milestone, and that guy is, when you lose a guy like McDonough, it's nice that you still have a guy like Perry in your locker room, even though he doesn't play the same role on ice, that's a guy you need in your locker room. And I agree with Kim about Foot, but that's a top 4 guy right now. He's playing the top line.
He's on the top line right now.
He's playing with Eddie.
And anyone that plays with Eddie looks real good. But I agree, like he should get an honorable mention for this category for sure. Yeah, because he's going to be really cranking it out. Matt's
remember how much she didn't like Rutu?
Yeah, he's the new Rutu. All right, 2 more. One easy one, one hard one. We're going with the hard one first. Other than the Lightning, which Eastern Conference team is going to be most dominant? Last season, it was the Florida Panthers and their 122 points. Didn't really translate to the postseason. But hey, Eastern Conference this season, what are we thinking?
Rangers.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I do think it's New York.
Islanders?
Absolutely. No, it's the Rangers. It's the Rags. No, I mean, listen, we talked about it last year. I don't know what happened to the Islanders last year. They should have been a much better team than they were. But it's definitely going to be, well,
I picked the Islanders in this last year.
I like the Canes. I think it's the Canes. The Rangers are easy, and Mike Snead, and they're in my brain, but Mike Snead brings up the Canes, and I think that's the team. I think that's the number 1 team in the East. That's
Snead. Stop giving him answers.
Get over
so we can steal my
because it was
chicken parm again.
It was between the two. It always was, but
Are you going Canes then?
But I'm going with Carolina.
All right. For the record, I already had that one written down. I'm going with the Canes too. I like what the Hurricanes did in the offseason. They lost a couple good players, but I think they got better.
But they still have their same coach, and they still have their, as I've already said multiple times on the show, their ownership and their coaching mentality align. And we've seen what that means to us in our market. And I think that's what Carolina is finally understanding and finally mimicking. And that's imitations to, greatest form of flattery. That's what they're trying to do. All these other teams are trying to, paste it together. And the Rangers, I think, are good, but I still don't know about the coaching and the ownership. I still don't know if they're on the same page. I really don't, even after they went so deep last year. So,
all right, Canes, Rangers. Schooley got this one right last year with the Panthers. Final question. It is not even really a real question, but we'll ask it anyway. Does John Cooper get fired this season?
Not a chance in hell.
Oh, wait, we got not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
The question should have been, how long will it take for the fire Coop?
When my shit turns purple and smells like rainbow sherbet.
All right, so no one really thinks Cooper's getting fired. I'm sure there's someone in the chat that thinks his days are numbered. Maybe. I think we put this one on there last year, and I think he just got an extension or something like that. I don't know what it was. No. All right, well, there we go. We got our predictions in the system. We're going to come back here in April, and we're going to see how good or bad we are. Last season, we did all right. So, and hey, when you got 3 guys on here guessing, then, we're probably going to do all right. All right. You guys got anything else, Schooley?
Yeah, we really didn't say anything about what's his face leaving and going to Detroit. Coach.
Oh, we swapped.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
In the offseason, didn't we?
And I think Coop and him have such a great relationship. I think that's going to be great this season.
Blashill.
Yeah.
Brandon
I
Blashill.
think that's going to be great to have.
Well, he's going to be on special teams too, which I think a lot of people were a little bit fed up with last season, right? And I think that he'll bring a little bit of a fresh perspective. Lalonde deserved his chance to go up there and be the main guy behind the bench, and I think Blashill, it's a bit of a homecoming for him as far as like coming back and working with Coop again. So, and he'll be part of that power play team for sure. So.
Yeah, that's a good thing to watch this season because I think we were middle of the pack in both power play and penalty
PK.
Kill last year. So
we started out hot in a PK and it got worse.
We lost
the season.
we lost so many pieces of it.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Well, it looks like I was going the daily face-off award predictions. I just want to see, who do you guys think wins the Hart? That's not Bolts. Who do you think wins it?
I think Austin Matthews will win it again.
The majority is. Go ahead, Stash.
I think it's gonna be McDonough.
That's the majority went with him, but the runner-up that the other ones are picking is Kaprizov.
Caprill.
That's literally Matthews ain't even, and nobody picked Matthews. It's Connor or him. The Venzina.
Ooh. Mike Sneed's coming in saying that Johnny Hockey in this new digs is going to be the guy that comes in. Follow-up question then, Mike Sneed in the chat. Do you think it's enough to actually make a difference for that franchise? Do they actually have success, or is it just a wasted effort and scoring that much?
I don't think Goudreau can do it all by himself, but they at least have one good line there.
And this is a surprise for me. Who do you think wins this Venzina?
According to them?
Well, who do you think?
Saros
Shut up.
has got to be it.
Saros.
No, they actually pick Sorokin as the majority picked Sorokin. Which I thought was only two people pick Igor. There was one for Saros and one for Markstrom.
Oh my God, really?
The Sorokin was the
I think
Norris was unanimous. It was Kale.
McCarr, all hail.
Yeah, that's
Calder.
why I didn't pick Hedman, because usually he's got a shot, but not anymore.
Well, no, listen, he doesn't score enough.
No.
And he doesn't care to score enough. And I will still die on the hill. I would die on the hill that if Hedman wanted to be the leading scorer of defensemen in the NHL, he could be.
He was shooting it. I didn't watch the last game, but the other game against the Florida Panthers on Thursday, he was shooting it on that power play. Finally, wasn't going in, but he was.
The Calder,
he's always been more of a blue line back guy, and he doesn't care about making points. He just wants to play his position the best way he can, and he thinks that's being the defensive, anchor. You want to put a winger, a top line winger at defenseman. Then, okay, Kel McCarr's your guy. But if you want a true blue line captain, it's Hedman. Hedman all day, always has been. He's going to go down as one of the top 5 of all time.
The Calder, it was a tie between McTavish and Beniers. Selke, Barkov they pick.
Barkov?
Yeah, they say Patrice is second, had the second most votes, but Barkov had the most.
Yeah.
And then the Rocket with Shard was Austin Matthews, was everybody's except for a former Bolt backup, really Syracuse crunch, Mike McKenna. He's the one that picked Draisaitl to win the Rocket with Shard. Art Ross was unanimous. Connor McDavid, Jack Adams. This was all over the place, with a couple of them going to bonus. And then a couple going to Sutter. But you had Woodcroft, DeBeer, Boudreau.
Did I miss Bonus getting a new gig because he left?
Yeah, he's Winnipeg. He's Winnipeg.
Oh, that's right. He did go there. That's right. Oh,
I don't see
a long off
that
season.
happening.
I'm sorry, it was a long off season. I just remembered he went to the Jets. That's right.
Yeah, he didn't want to coach no more and left Dallas, and then found his way to Winnipeg and was like, "Oh, I want to coach again."
Yeah, like I said, Dallas cannot get their ownership on the same page as their coaching staff. And maybe this is the move they needed to make. I don't know, but that's a good player. That's a good roster that they have there, and they just need a good general behind the bench. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I saved that for. I was like, wow, there's some pretty good different picks that.
Yeah, I do think Shooty has a good point though about all the of all the adversity that possibly can maybe happen for the Lightning in the offseason. This is probably the most they're going to face during Cooper's tenure. And it seems to always be that offseason adversity is a factor in winning a Jack Adams, where you have to overcome, even if you have a bunch of players that are super talented that other guys couldn't win with, and you do. That doesn't matter, right? It's just, that's too talented. So maybe this is the year that they have to overcome a big turnover, and they still put up a lot of points and still wow the league, and he finally gets his due, accolades as the coach behind the bench of the greatest team in the last decade in the NHL.
That was Schooley's pick, by the way.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And breaking news, the ice cream stand is back this year.
Oh, I thought it was gone.
It was, but the construction crew couldn't get in there and turn it into a pasta stand. So it is staying ice cream for one more season.
Espo is pumped.
So am I.
Mike Sneed thinks they need Barry ASAP Barry in Dallas.
Me and Kim actually found out together the ice cream stand was back because I was lucky enough to be given Chase Club tickets to this past preseason game. And
I must have missed your call when you.
Oh yeah, me too. Your two co-hosts. That's weird.
Okay.
Actually, I was sitting on the stairs waiting to go into the game with my buddy Kevin Williams that was in here talking. We were sitting there, and
does Kevin do a podcast?
And all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I get a message going, "Hey, do you want these Chase Club tickets?" And I went, yeah. So I said, let's go back to my car and get some cash so I can tip the bartenders.
I got tickets right here, baby.
How'd you get
October 23rd? October 23rd. Kevin Smith, Tampa Theater. Not hockey related, but I got tickets.
He used SeatGeek.com. Code We the Thunder Pod. WTT Pod. Got $20 off. Front row. Upgraded himself. Yeah, we should do. Let's do. I obviously not tonight, but we'll do. Let's talk. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other teams. I think this season. Give a couple weeks to see. Who's has a good start to the season, but we'll definitely do a dive into some of these other teams and what they're looking like for the rest of the season. Maybe we'll readjust our games to look forward to.
I am trying to find somewhere tomorrow in Tampa to watch the game and see if some people just want to get together. Just not sure where. Hopefully I can figure that out early in the day and post it on Thunderbolts. So if you want to go and meet up and watch the game together tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to figure somewhere out. Tomorrow I have court tomorrow. So I think why I'm waiting
for the game might be a bar.
No, sorry, it's for a shoplifter.
See, it's different. Listen, if Thomas Schooley says he has court tomorrow, we can assume it's because he's going to prosecute somebody.
Yes.
If Stash has court tomorrow, he might not be on next week's
he's
show.
He's going to need a lawyer for that, mother.
We might need another host.
Spoiler alert.
So, yeah, but also check out Thunderbolts. We are taking donations for Seats for Service right now to get those military in the seats for the November game. Every $5 puts you in another entry for the different stuff that we will collect for doing the donations. It's always an autograph stick, an autograph puck, 2 to 4 seats up in the club level. Right now we're up to $1,000.
Cool. Oh, and I haven't even donated yet.
Nice. Oh, and by the way, Sarah, Serena says, come find her. She'll get you the discount for the ice cream for the kiddo.
But if she has more than one kid with her, that bucket for $25 is worth it because it will feed them all. It's a whole can of Cool Whip. It's cherries, it's nuts, it's all the different types of ice cream.
Sarah times it right during the game, and get the sugar rush and then the crash for the drive back up to Lartville. So that might be 25 well spent, Sarah. Just saying. And by the way, Mike, I have paper tickets because I collect stubs. I always have.
I wish we had the cards still.
I get paper tickets anytime I can.
I wish the Lightning still gave us the cards because I used to love the cards.
Yeah, I have an entire, like most people have photo albums of photos. I have a photo album of event tickets and stubs. That's my scrapbook. So I do my best.
Yeah, I put my Instagram in there. I'm going to post some more Lightning stuff on my Instagram. So if you want to follow along, I actually posted a video earlier letting people know that we're doing the podcast again. Sure. So go check that out. And I'll probably have some more stories when I go to games. You might even see a story tomorrow night or me go live tomorrow night while I'm trying to watch the game at a airport, which is always, great to watch the first game. Maybe at an airport.
If you have ESPN Plus, then you'll be able to watch it anywhere you are.
I do.
Oh, imagine that.
You don't know how good airport Wi-Fi is, though, do you?
Oh.
And hopefully we can figure out a date for this season's Queen of Boltsville.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we gotta give it a couple months for Kim to return to her throne here, and she's got to ride out the next couple weeks on top. But we'll definitely get a date going, and we'll definitely have some watch parties coming up too that we got to get our stuff together for. All right, anything else, boys? I think that's it.
That's it.
The Queen is ready, and so am I. Because guess what, folks? Less than 24. And we are back to Lightning hockey. The thing we all live for. Everything else in the last 3 months has been a placeholder. Waiting for this moment right here, right now. I can't wait. I mean, it's time.
McDonald's has adult Happy Meals now, so yes.
Yeah, and guess what though? They have trick or treat buckets next week.
Yeah, no, the week after, 16th. Oh, it is next week. So sorry.
Better get that abacus back out, Mr. LP guy.
I got
AP.
Grimace, and then I got Hamburglar today. It's already sitting on my desk.
The Turd Burglar.
But I got to say, this I think was the comment of the night from Adrian. Fire sticks cost more than Tampa Bay, Vegas, and Toronto's cap space combined, which is true. Because that is one expensive meal.
That said, make sure you get there early tomorrow. Or wait, not tomorrow, next week. Do not show up at the arena tomorrow.
Do it.
It is in New York. And by the way, it is a ESPN game?
It is.
Yes.
It's nationally televised. So don't look
games
for it on Bally Sports.
Yeah.
You got to watch it on ESPN. All right. We'll be back next Monday night. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
Yep.